Okay, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Before we go to the next step, which is receiving, listening to your whatever you want to participate with, as a logical example for to refute the idea of having relationships before marriage, just a logical idea, just a logical example, because sometimes these examples are very important to link between the example and the hukm itself, the rules of the matter in Quran and Sunnah. Somebody wants to buy a washing machine, not sewing machine now, a washing machine. Just let's change the Fatiha, let's call her Fatiha, wants to buy a washing machine. Would Fatiha go to the store and pick up a washing machine randomly and rent it, not even buy it? She will go to the shops where they rent washing machines and she will rent the washing machine for, let's say, 6 months, and then she will give it back, and then she will go and rent or hire another type of washing machine and use it for 6 months, and then after 6 months she will go trying different washing machines, okay, to decide 3 years later or 4 years later to decide which one of these washing machines is good, so she will buy it. Would somebody do that? Huh? Or go straight away and ask? Go to the store, go online, read people's reviews about different washing machines, and then gain the knowledge about different types of washing machines, and on the basis of your requirements, you say, basically my choice is such and such. I'm going to buy such and such washing machine because I think it is good and it will serve my needs. Isn't that the correct way? Well, that is the marriage as well. This refutes the idea of going and trying this way and then trying that relationship and then trying that relationship, because they say, so one day when you're ready to get married, you find yourself with the right person. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It's just like this logical example wouldn't say to a person, go and every 6 months you try a washing machine, rent it so 3-4 years later you buy the right one after you gain the knowledge. No, from the beginning you can gain the knowledge. Why I'm saying this is because most of our problems we have in marriages, not because we never had relationship before marriage, or because the reason is because we didn't know how to get married in the first place in the right way, as I was going through these things from the beginning of this lecture. When you understand yourself, your requirements, then you know, and you know your abilities as well. Okay? You know your abilities, so you know how to bring somebody into your life to fix your weaknesses, also to enhance and increase your abilities. Okay? And also what affects the way how we get married is taking into consideration the future, not just I want to get married because I want to get married. No. Getting married means a lot of things in the future. Children, for instance, a major problem, children. So before you get married, you want to know what type of a person you want to be your children's father or mother. Isn't that correct? That's why the Prophet said, تَخَيَّرُوا لِنُطَفِكُمْ. Choose for your children, means before you get married. Choose. Think what type of children you want to have. That determines the requirements you're going to ask for when you propose. What do you want your children to be? Do you want to be music stars? Okay, go and marry a musician, if that's the case. If you want children to be حفظة القرآن الكريم, so go and marry the right person if you can. Not for them to be حفاظ, but at least to be on the same path as yourself. Somebody who wants their children to be حفظة القرآن. But somebody who wants their children to be, whatever, what I mentioned earlier, and then the last thing they are asking for, or they are hoping their children to be, is to pray. So it depends upon what you want your children to be. You determine what type of person you're going to look for. This fixes a lot of problems and avoids a lot of conflicts within marriage. Because a lot of problems we have as married people is the conflicts between the husband and wife in regards to children. One of the parents is happy for the children to be in this way. The other parent said, no, I'm not happy with this. I don't want my children to be like this. But he or she wants the children to be like that. This brings a lot of problems, and then divorce. Can you see? So if you, from the very beginning, have your own mindset that my children, my aim, my dream is to have my children in a certain way, then make sure when you propose to somebody, you mention this. And not just mention this, you look for the person that will work with you together to gain this in your children. What I always say to brothers and sisters, find a person in the same box as yourself. Because everybody has a box where you are. So don't go and look for somebody from other boxes, because it's not going to work for you. Whether you are a man or woman. Look for somebody who is in the same box. And that requires from you to know yourself, because you need to know your box. Because if you don't know where you are, and what you want, and what your requirements, you wouldn't know what to look for. As I said earlier, that is very important. It brings a lot of happiness in your marriage in the future. Or, if you don't take it into consideration, it will bring a lot of problems. That is very important. Same box. Even in small things, if you can even be more specific, no problem, be more specific. The more you are specific, more chance you have to make your marriage successful. Even in terms of reading, for instance, just take an example, reading. You love reading. Okay? You love reading. You can sit down there and read for 10, 15, 16 hours. You have that love for reading. But at least, we're not saying you need to find somebody who can read for 16 hours as well, but at least somebody who doesn't hate reading. A person loves to read, okay? And I came across this case. His partner, his wife, can't stand him picking up a book. A book is like another wife. It's a small thing, but it affects the marriage itself. So that brings a lot of problems, because he loves something, but she dislikes that thing. Okay, to some extent. Okay. I said in my mind, this problem can be fixed if that person knew from the beginning that this can cause him a problem in the future, or it will cause her a problem in the future. He would go and at least find somebody who can enjoy talking about books. It doesn't have to be religion books. It can be anything. Science, physics, chemistry, whatever you are. It brings you a lot of, because one of the main problems we have in our marriage is lack of communication. Okay? Lack of communication. So when you share things, when there are things you share with your partner, means more communication. But if you like to talk about books or science or whatever, that's you as a wife. And your husband likes to talk about cars and motorbikes. Big problem. Big problem. It doesn't mean you don't communicate, but the communication will be very limited. Because in a way or another, he will know that you are not interested in the topic, or she will know that he is not interested in the topic, and that brings dissociation, the association. So when there are more things to share, more communication in marriage means more success, extra success. That is very important. Okay? When you propose, you have to know what to ask for. A sister has been asking us to help her to get married. Okay? For more than 10 years. Okay. Finally, we found a person, said, okay, that's actually, yeah, because I live abroad and I come here every 4 weeks, 5 weeks for business. So, I don't know, if she agrees that we get married, and every 5 weeks, 6 weeks I come for a week, 2 weeks, and then I have no problem. We spoke to the sister. She's happy. She said, yeah, that's what I want. I've got my own place and I just need, somebody to accommodate me, to have life with, to share life with, to have children. Yes, alhamdulillah, I'm happy with that. We said, alhamdulillah, at least we got these two people together. She liked the idea. They agreed upon that. When we arranged the meeting to speak, okay, the sister, the first thing she asked the man, what do you think of Sayyid Qutb? What do you think about Sayyid Qutb? What do I think about Sayyid Qutb? He said, I'm sorry, my knowledge in regards to prophets and messengers of Allah are not that good. I don't know, is he a prophet? Is he from Bani Israel? She said, oh, you don't know Sayyid Qutb? He said, no, who's Sayyid Qutb? I'm sorry if I don't know Allah's prophets. She said, no, okay, forget about it. Do you allow your trousers, this is the second question. Do you allow your trousers to go beyond your ankle when you wear your trousers? Because now you're wearing those, so I can't see. The brother knew who Sayyid Qutb is, more than her. He knew about all this business, but he understood that he got the wrong proposal. He said, sister, actually I do, but okay, we're gonna talk again about this. And he left, and he came, and he said, Akhi, you got me into a disaster. Women talking to me about a human being. What does Sayyid Qutb have to do with marriage? Who's Sayyid Qutb? A person who died in 1965 in Egypt. No, you have to say he's bad and he's such and such, so you have to be, mashallah, on the same path as that woman in her thoughts, and this is wrong. Sister called, the brother couldn't accept my question. We said, sister, we're sorry. We try to do our best. We're sorry. It's Allah that gets people married, not us. We're sorry. You can't. It's like the trousers go beyond the ankle. What do you know about that? The majority of can you imagine how people destroy their future, their happiness on the basis of wrong ways, wrong information? The majority of the scholars said your trousers going beyond your ankle is not haram. The majority of madhahib, al-Hanabila, al-Malikiyya, al-Hanafiyya, al-Shafi'iyya, all of them, as long as it is not done out of pride, because Arabs at the time of the Jahiliyyah, before the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they used to do it out of pride. They used to wear long dress and they walk like out of pride. So Islam came and said, stop that. Okay. Some of them said it's makruh. The majority said it is not haram. Yes, one of the opinions of Imam Ahmad, and that's madhab of Zahiri, they said it is haram, yes. But the majority of the scholars said as long as it's not done out of pride, it is not haram. Some said it's makruh, some said it's not even. Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, who is very strict in his fiqh, said it's not even makruh. It's not even makruh. This is Sheikh Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. So they go miskina, because when she became to the deen, she read a booklet, little book came from wherever the book came from, and she understood the opinion, and she thinks this is the deen of Islam, and if my husband is opposite, I'm not. What are you doing? What are you doing? So when you propose, when somebody proposes, share what is important. Talk about what is important. Okay, Allah will not ask you about Sayyid Qutb. That is a fact. Allah will ask you about things that you already know. Who's your Lord? What is your religion? Isn't that the case? What do you say about Muhammad? These are the questions you're going to be asked in your grave. Munkar wa Nakir in the grave will not ask you, what do you think about Sayyid Qutb? Oh, he's Sunni, okay, you Jahannam. No, that's not the case. So I'm mentioning this just to tell you that we are destroying our marriages. Somebody waiting to get married for 10 years. And when the person came, she kicked him out with stupid questions. What is worse is that actually she was wrong, not actually the husband. That's why he pretended, the brother, he was so clever. He pretended he was totally dumb and stupid. He said, I had to act in that way. I didn't want to stay for even a second. If it was somebody else, I would walk away. But he had that akhlaq. He said, I just pretended that I didn't know. And I said, I'm sorry, sister, I don't really know about the deen. I'm sorry, we'll talk more. And he left. So we have to know what to talk about and how to make our marriage successful. Don't go into too much details. Okay, now what affects marriage as well? Very important. Please write this or remember or memorize it, whatever. Especially for those who want to get married. Don't base your relationship with your husband or your wife on rights. Don't base the relationship on rights. Absolutely incorrect. My right, his right, her right. Wrong. Wrong phrases. Nobody is able to fulfill rights. We don't even fulfill Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rights. And He is the creator and we are the servants. Nobody is able to fulfill rights. But rather, instead of that, base your relationship with your partner on forgiveness and communication. Okay? And don't write. Some people like to write. Anything you do, it is memorized and it is written in a book. As soon as something goes wrong, oh, on this day, at this time, you done this. On this day, at this time, you done, and bring the list, and that ends with divorce. Ends in divorce. Not good. There are what we call الضرورات التي لا بد منها. There are things you have, there are rights you can't neglect. We know them. Okay? There are rights nobody can sacrifice. They are needed. They are needed. Okay? But apart from that, don't write mistakes because nobody is perfect. When there are major things affecting you as a person, as a Muslimah, as a Muslim, then raise the problem and say, hold on, there is a problem here, we need to talk about it. I think you're wrong here, and I think this thing should be done this way, and I think, what do you think of this? In a nice way, you can talk. In a nice way, you can discuss things. Okay? But things that are not affecting you as a person, as a Muslim, as a Muslimah, khalas, let them go. Forget about them. Don't talk about them. And I'm saying this because I came across many marriages ended in divorce because of these stupid things. Well, he this, or he's that, or she is this, or she is that. Small things, don't talk about them and don't even memorize them. Go and forget it, khalas, come back as nothing happened. But unfortunately, some partners know. As soon as you come in, or as soon as she comes in, oh, we need to talk about this. We need to talk. About what? Such, I'm bringing things that have no effect, have nothing at all in your relationship. In fact, talking about them will waste your time. Khalas, forgive. So, marriage should be based on forgiveness, not rights. That is very, very important. Okay. I know you've been listening for so long, mashallah, may Allah reward you for that. Now, who wants to, because I haven't got much left to talk about, so who has anything wants to talk about, experience, to share, something to talk about, anything, or even to ask a question where we can talk about more about things that we have mentioned. Bismillah. That is very good question. I'm gonna, anybody has anything related to what the brother said? How actually the lifestyle we have nowadays affecting our marriages, our social relationships. That is very important. Unfortunately, in the past, to do yourself al-rahim, to visit your kinship, your mother, your father, your sisters, your brothers, you actually go. You go physically, you go and knock the door and hug your mom and kiss your mom and say, oh mom, how are you? Let's go this, let's go. There is hayat, there is relationship. Now, most of us, he's just like half an hour away from his mom and he haven't seen his mom for 2-3 weeks, if it's not more. Why? Because of this technology thing. Some people forget because of the lifestyle we have. This is the mother, let alone the sister, let alone the brother. Probably he doesn't even see them, probably once a year, if he or she will go and see them. So this is very important. Many of our problems comes from this. Husband and wife sitting down at home, he's playing with his iPhone or smartphone, going through his WhatsApp, and she's doing the same thing. And they can be doing that. You see them in coffee shops when you go to Costa, wherever you go and sit down, they are together at the same table, no communication. He's so busy with his world and he or she is so busy with disaster. Technology is good, but brought lots of social problems. So, may Allah bless you for mentioning this. But let me add something to it, that one of the reasons why we have this problem is because we don't have much to share. When you have much to share with your partner, trust me, nothing will take you away from your partner. Smartphone, but we share less, but we share more with the device itself. We're linked with other countries, we're linked with friends in California, in Saudi, in Rabat, in Morocco, in Tangier. We're too busy with others, but what we need to be busy with. And why? Because they can justify that. They know that this is wrong, but they can justify it. They will say, look, because I don't have much to share. This goes back to what we are talking about. You have to share, you have to have some. Before you get married, make sure you have a lot to share with this person. If you like something and you love it, make sure the partner the person you're gonna get married to, make sure they don't have a problem with that. Because if you like to read and he hates to read, trust me, it happens in families. He's sitting here, the wife is sitting there, no communication. They try. It's not they don't try, they try. Because they know communication is important. And they come and sit down and make tea and coffee, but no communication. Because nothing to share, nothing to talk about. Very important to know how to choose. Wallahi, as I said to you, 17 years of family counseling. If we were to know how to build that foundation from the very beginning, you will have proper marriage. If not, even if you like the person in his figure or her figure on the face, no. When problems appear, when problems come, beauty goes. There are some people, we try to solve their problems. The wife is, according to him, she's very beautiful, no complaint. But he says, her and shaitan just the same. I can't see any difference because of the problems. And vice versa. She would say, yes, mashallah, he's nice looking. But to me, him and shaitan just the same. I couldn't even stand looking at him. We hear this, don't we? She would say, I can't stand looking at him. When you look at him, well, he's nice looking. But she can't stand because the beauty, when problems comes, nothing works. So we need to make sure that we have the right measures to like the right person, because it's actually the relationship what gonna make you like that person and love that person and talk to that person and be accommodated with that person. It's actually what you share, not the look. A woman at the time of Muhammad sallallahu at the time of Muhammad sallallahu, she was fine. She got married to somebody. You know the hadith in the Sahih. I don't want to go through a lot of it. The hadith is authentic. She was fine. She was married to this man. One day, she looked from the window. She looked from the window and she saw her husband coming with another two men. And she was looking. Straight away, she went to the Prophet. She said, Ya Rasulullah, I don't want my husband. I want khul'a. Why? What happened? This is your husband. You knew how he looked like in the past. That's why you got married to him. She said, yes, I know, but this is an explanation from me, by the way. Yeah. I don't want him. I don't want him. In one of the narration of the hadith, she said, if he wasn't, first of all, she said, he's really good in his deen. I have no complaint about his deen. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. He's a good Muslim. Caring, loving, caring, he helps. He's really good. But I don't want to be with him anymore. In another narration, she said, Wallahi, if he wasn't Allah, I will spit on his face. That's authentic hadith. She said, I will spit on his face. That is how much that woman hated her husband. What happened? What happened? She knew how he looked before because she didn't have the measures. She didn't have the measures. She looked from the window. She saw him with another man, two men. She found him, whatever. She started comparing. You can't compare. Where are the measures? Where are the measures? Okay? She didn't have the measure, the right measures. She knew that he was good. And he was okay, because if he wasn't okay, she wouldn't accept him from the beginning. So for her being his wife means she accepted how he looked like. So why are you going to start going and doing all this? You can't do that. That will destroy your life. Because any human being you find, you're going to find another person who's better than that person, whether man or woman. So when are you going to finish? So you get married again and then compare and get married again. And who are you anyway? These are errors. That woman, why the Prophet said to the man, divorce her? Because that's what he said to him. Some people think she was right to ask for khul'. No. Hadith doesn't say that. She was 100% wrong. But the Prophet ﷺ advised him to divorce her because you don't want to be with somebody who doesn't want to be with you. As simple as that. You can't, that's not life. You don't want me? Bismillah. Barakallahu feek. You can't force people because it brings a lot of problems. So khalas, Assalamu alaikum. But she was 100% wrong because she didn't have the measures. But if she had the measures, okay, like the majority of people, alhamdulillah, they are more understanding, they don't compare. So that's another error people do. Okay, barakallahu fik for that. Anybody else? I need a sister so we can be equal. Yeah, that is good. This will open the door for the rest of the lecture. I wanted to talk about who has the right to divorce. Okay, that's the title that I have here. Who has the right to submit divorce? Men or women, and why? Because I do believe in why question. It's very important because otherwise people will believe things blindly and then will have complications in the future, start having doubts in the deen and so on. So it's good to say why. As an answer, quick answer, and then I go back to the title itself, she has a right to ask for divorce. Why? Because this is called aib, means it's a defect. These kind of defects, they have to be mentioned before getting married because it's actually defect. But it depends upon how bad the defect is. You know, people have psychological problems sometimes, but they are fine. Alhamdulillah, they are loving, caring. But if that psychological mental disorder is affecting the other person, he is actually or she is actually mentally disturbed because of whatever happened in her life or his life, that is aib. Islamically, she can and he can actually divorce. If she's a woman, she can ask for divorce. As simple as that. But obviously, this is a general answer. Okay, because there is a defect, and defect means the person has the right to divorce. Okay, easily, without any complications and problems. However, if you want to go ahead with it, or if the person wants to go ahead with divorce, then you have to refer to the imam or sheikh who's good in this field to assess, because sometimes you can take a wrong decision. Okay, sometimes you can create ways to get away or to work around that problem. There are ways. If you can do that and protect the family and protect him as well and protect the children and without affecting your life as a person, as a mu'mina, as a mu'min, then it's good to stay together. And the qadi, the judge, will say to you, I don't recommend you to ask for divorce. But if you can't work around it and it's a big problem, he's big problem, yeah. He's big problem. And I came across actually these things. I came across violence, can lead to murder as well sometimes. Or that is a big problem and the person can divorce easily.
So if it comes to, you said you've been in situations where it comes to murder. What is...
Sorry? Yeah, if he's actually in that situation, he's actually mentally ill, she can't be with him. As simple as that. Because this is a person who is mad. You're talking about a mad person. Nobody will say to you, you have to stay with a mad person. That's not the case. But how are you going to go about doing it? How are you going to... That's another... You have to find your ways of, so nobody's... he understands and there are ways of doing things. But nobody will say to you, no, just be patient, sister, may Allah reward you. Nobody will say this, only if he himself is ill. Nobody will recommend a sister staying with a mad person or vice versa. Okay, so that's out of question.
They need medical attention.
Huh? Yeah, so that's why I said this is a rule. But going ahead with it, you need a judge to see what can we do, what is his problem, are they medicated, there are things. But as a hukm Islamically, nobody can force anybody to stay with a mad person. As simple as that. But to go ahead with it, there are ways. Yeah, because sometimes you can take the wrong decision. This woman, when she said to Muhammad ﷺ, I don't want to be with this man, I know he's good, I don't want to be with him. The scholar said, dislike, hatred, gives women right to divorce. Why? Because for the sake of the husband, for the man himself, because he doesn't want to be with somebody that hates him. So khalas, finish here and go. And then the consequences of it, she will need to take the consequences of that. When in the future, find out that her decision was wrong, she will pay. She has to accept the consequences. But Islamically, if woman to say, I don't want to be with that person, I'm not going to fulfill his rights upon me, Islam said, okay, go. And you take the consequences. And logically as well, you don't want to be with somebody who doesn't want to be with you. It's as simple as that. I'm against the idea of, no, just keep them together. What do you mean, just keep them together? For what? Sometimes being together makes children bad. When they see parents fighting all day long, every day, children screaming, shouting, crying, please stop, mom, stop, dad, stop. You don't want children to be in that situation. No. So you just go, okay, go, finish. So divorce sometimes can be a solution, as the title, can be a good solution. So, okay, you wanted to say something earlier.
Two questions.
Yeah. First of all, who has the right to divorce? We have hadith, authentic hadith in the Sahih, that the Prophet ﷺ said, any woman asks her husband for divorce min ghayri ma ba'sin, without any harm, means strong reason there is harm. لم تروح رائحة الجنة. She will not even smell the odor of al-Jannah, means she will not enter Jannah. Okay, we're going to stop a bit with this hadith. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, any woman asks her husband for divorce, means women cannot divorce. Otherwise, he will say, any woman divorces her husband. صح? Isn't that correct? Yes. He said, any woman asks, means she cannot divorce. That's why she's asking. And Muhammad accepted this, that yes, she cannot divorce, but she asks for divorce. That's number one. Number two, in hadith, women can ask for divorce. And this is where the justice of Islam is coming from. Okay? Islam is not saying, yeah, man can divorce, a woman cannot divorce. That's not the scenario, as a lot of people say. No. It's another logical thing. That's what Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah wrote his book, Ta'arud al-Aql wal-Naql. A book, he named it, this is the meaning of the title. There's no contradiction between al-Naql, which is Islam, Sharia, and logic. There's no contradiction. This is a book, actually, a title of a book of Sheikh Hassan AlJishtimi. We're not saying women cannot divorce. Women can ask. Women cannot let her enjoy herself, but listen to me at the same time. Okay, so women cannot divorce, but they can ask for divorce. Where is it in the hadith? Because he said, min ghayri ma ba'sin, without harm, which means what they call mafhum al-hadith, that if there is a reason, there is harm, then she can ask for divorce. So imagine both men and women can divorce. Who are we going to follow? The husband is saying, I want a divorce. The woman is saying, I don't want a divorce. And both of them have the right. It's not going to happen. Two people cannot drive the same car at the same time. It's not going to happen. Okay? Because this person wants to drive that way, and the other person wants to drive that way, an accident is going to happen and problem. So obviously one should have that right. Now the second question, why men, not women? Why not women has the right? Why not women are not given the right to divorce, not the man? Trust me. Not because I'm a man, but trust me. If it was in women's hands, you wouldn't find no marriages. 99%, again, I'm not exaggerating, of the cases, of the calls, of people come to my office, talaq, and who's asking for it? Women. And I'm not saying they don't have a right, I'm just saying, if it was in their hands, with haqq or batil, we'll have no families, 5% of families. Everybody is just single parents, single father, or single mother, unfortunately. Why? Because subhanallah, and there's a study about this as well. You can check it online, inshallah. There is a study that men are more reluctant than women when it comes to divorce. And I've seen with my eyes. I have the couple in my office talking to them. She's asking, and he can see that he doesn't want to go with it. He's actually who rushes into a divorce, unfortunately women. So no wonder why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed it from them. But, as I said, because of the justice, He gave them the rights. If there's a best, women can ask for divorce. So if they ask for divorce for reason like this, the example the sister gave, or then she can ask and Sharia gives her that right. Even if the husband is refusing, the judge will force him to divorce. Okay. Before that, which is called al-fasakh. Before the judge gives that, they give the second step, which is al-khula'. If there is reasons for divorce, okay, and the consequences of divorce are less than the consequences of staying together, then he will submit al-fasakh. Al-fasakh means the judge cancels. That has its own rules in Islam. But it's called al-fasakh. He actually invalidates the marriage. Khalas. Yes, sister. It's something you agree upon. There is no limit. If he agrees, but the scholars said he shouldn't take more than the dowry. The scholars do actually say that. He shouldn't take more than the dowry. Okay? But if she agrees, because this woman, Muhammad said to him, okay, she said, can you give him his hadiqa back, his land? She said, yes. So she gives him the dowry and he will let her go. But if they agreed upon something else, less or more, and they agreed upon that, that's fine. But there is a debate amongst the scholars, amongst this, can he? Some scholars said, no, he shouldn't take more. But the talaq, the khula takes place. But he is in sin because he asked for more than what he gave. But the khula takes place. That's just a summary of the matter.
What if she only has, let's say, £1,000?
That's why I say it's something. Yeah, that's why I said it's something they have to agree upon. If he's happy with that, if not, and she is actually in harm, he is harming her because she doesn't want to be with him, because there's a reason, like mental disorder or anything. The judge will look at the case. If he says, yes, you have right not to be with him, he will actually invalidate the marriage. It's in the judge's hand at the end of the day. But he has to be trustworthy judge, not just anybody who follows his desires or take money from under the table, as it happens in many countries. Okay, that's another topic actually, when divorce can take place. When divorce can... One thing we have to know, that nobody divorces while he's smiling and having a good time. When divorce takes place, because there is a problem, people are upset. So anger doesn't invalidate divorce. Divorce still takes place, whether he's angry or smiling. Okay? Even if he's joking, it takes place. You can't joke with talaq and divorce. But what the scholars spoke about is al-ghadab al-mughliq, means the anger that makes you like a mad person. Anger that makes you like a mad person. You're not thinking anymore about what you're saying, what you're doing. You lost it, completely lost it. That is the talaq that the scholars said, la yaqa', because this person becomes like a majnoon. He doesn't mean it, he doesn't want to say it. After he said, A'udhu billah, what did I do? Did I divorce? Did I actually say that? This is the ghadab, this is the anger that doesn't make divorce valid. Okay? Also, there is what they call a talaq al-mulji. Okay? Means he is aware of himself, but she's been pushing him to divorce. Okay? It happens. Okay, if you are a man, divorce me. See, you're not a man. Come on, divorce me then. Come on. So she is actually forcing him to divorce. She's putting pressure on him. She is in the corner now. And just for him to escape from that situation, is okay, you're divorced. That divorce doesn't take place. because he's mukrah. He's been forced. It's like they put a gun on his head. Divorce or we're going to kill you. That's kind of. So he wants to escape. He didn't want to divorce her, but he just wanted to escape from the situation. Okay, that divorce doesn't take place. And she cannot say, oh, alhamdulillah, I'm divorced now. It doesn't go. If you have a problem, you go to Al-Qadi. Al-Qadi will assess the situation and he will judge on the basis of the Quran and Sunnah and his aqidis deen, and he will say if yes or no. So that is very important. What I wanted to speak more about probably is we're finished, inshallah. Okay, the scholars, when you go to read about divorce and the man has the right to divorce, it doesn't mean that he can just go and divorce, as a lot of people think. There are rules and regulations. Okay, if you go to the books of fiqh, you find that the scholars said divorce actually has the ahkam al-khamsa. Sometimes it is haram to divorce. Okay, sometimes it is an obligation to divorce, totally the opposite. Sometimes it is mustahab, it is recommended to divorce. Sometimes it is makruh, it is disliked to divorce. Sometimes it is permissible to divorce. The majority of the scholars said it is mubah, it is jaiz, it is okay to divorce as long as it doesn't bring haram consequences. Somebody who is married and he knows if he divorces his wife, he's gonna go and commit what? Zina, adultery, fornication, haram for him to get to divorce because of the consequences of it. Okay? So there are rules and regulations. This will make us understand that the ahkam are not just here we go, men are better. No, we don't have this in Islam. It's about qawama, it's about, when you study Islam in general, all of it together in one go, you understand how beautiful Islam is. There's no dhulm. Even hadana, I don't have chance to, but we talk about hadana, custody, in another lecture, inshallah ta'ala, in the future, by the will of Allah. Custody is very important to understand the ahkam, the rules of custody, children's custody. Some people think when Islam said women has the custody, they think to please women. No, it's not about pleasing women. Custody is for the benefit of the child. Islam doesn't care, doesn't look at wallahi women's feelings or man's feelings. No. Custody is for the benefit of the child. Because the benefit of the child at this certain age, in this certain age, to be with his mother, he needs to, not because Islam wants to please the mother. No. It's because the child must be there because it's better for the child. Psychologically but in this period of his life or her life, because of such reasons, the child has to go to the father or the grandma or the aunt, or many ahkam we're going to talk about inshallah when we speak about the custody. So inshallah ta'ala, our aim again, just to remind you, behind this title today, divorce, is it enmity or an Islamic solution, is to minimize the divorces that are taking place in the community, inshallah, and also other people or other communities, because we are here for everybody, inshallah ta'ala. So share this, inshallah, and if you have any khilaf, anything you want to disagree with, feel free. You can email me, you can forward it to my office, and inshallah, that's all I have today, inshallah. Barakallahu fikum, salam alaikum.